Hi everybody, and welcome to our show. This is From This Corner TV, and I'm Marilyn Dayton, your host and producer. I'm so happy you're with us tonight because we've got a very special show, as always, but this one's very different. You'll see in a few minutes. I want to remind you that we're not here just to entertain you. We're here also to talk about interesting things and to educate you a little bit. So we're going to do all of that tonight. Our guest tonight is Diane Trone, and we're going to be talking about what's in your closet. She is a fashion stylist and a director of business development for W by Worth. Her business is called Blonde Hanger. What a perfect name. She has a pop-up boutique in her home where she helps women become stylish with her high-quality clothing line, and she also identifies other women that she mentors so they can be successful, teaching them the tools to achieve their goals. We're going to get to know Diane, and then she's going to give us some fashion style tips and techniques. So get out those pens and paper and be ready. Welcome to our show, Diane.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, really thank you. I'm humbled and honored to be here today. This is amazing.
Well, I've been looking forward to this. Diane is my neighbor, and she lives across the street. And she's been very busy lately with the pop-up business, a sale going on at her home. And so we've been trying to time this so that we had a free evening where you could come and join us. And then we had an adventure on the way here tonight.
It's always an adventure, which is a good way to describe what happened.
Well,
share what happened.
Yes, well, we got in her car. She was all packed up with a mannequin and the clothes and everything. And her car just sat there and looked at us, you know, with the lights came on, and we just sat there and nothing happened. So she kept trying, and we decided, okay, plan B. So I ran across the street, unloaded my car, which was loaded with stuff, and drove over, picked her up, and we reloaded, and we got here, and we weren't that late. We were here, only a few minutes beyond what we were.
We did not skip a beat, really.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, it's like plan B. Let's just reload. And
we couldn't. We had to get here.
Exactly.
Because people need to see this show, okay? I am dressed by Diane. And I love it.
Yay.
And, but let's start at the beginning, okay? Let's talk about Diane. I want you to get to know her a little bit. So tell us your story from small town USA.
Okay, so I was born and raised in small town USA, Mercer, Pennsylvania. Population, couple thousand, I mean, very small. After high school, I decided to move to San Francisco, California to find my fame and fortune. And I went out there. I had an uncle that lived out there. I had to pick some place where somebody would pick me up from the airport. So that was one place that I was far away enough and somebody would pick me up from the airport. So my uncle picked me up from the airport, and I started on my way of looking for a job while I was out there, and my first job was at a bank, because my family's all bankers, and that just seemed like the natural place to get a job. So I got a job in a bank, and I was telling Marilyn on the way here that in the back of my mind, because it was California, I just thought, oh, I could be in commercials. Maybe I could do something with, because I had the lead in my junior class play, and of course, that kind of set the mode for maybe I could be an actress or something.
Sure.
So, needless to say, though, I knew that I needed some work because I was shy, and I needed some help with being able to, if I was going to be an actress and do commercials, I'd have to be able to be very animated and feel comfortable in front of the camera. So I took a workshop, and I actually loved the workshop more than I ended up loving the idea of wanting to be in commercials. And I started working there because it was more about making a difference in people's lives and helping people. So it was a motivational, self-improvement type seminar company. And I did that I started as a receptionist. They quickly moved me down to San Diego to open an educational center down there. And then I went to Sacramento and opened one there for them. And then I went to San Jose. And then I told them I wanted to become a trainer. I really wanted to learn how to be a facilitator and teach the workshops. So I was the youngest one that they ever had brought on at 24 years old. I was up in front of couple hundred people doing seminars and making a difference in people's lives through helping them help themselves.
And you're still doing that.
It's
what a wonderful thing.
Yes. It's in me. It's really in me.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to get through anything in life. If you can look at something and then say, this might be horrible, this might not be a good thing. However, can I help somebody else through my trials and tribulations? Can I do something that will actually make a difference in somebody's life through the lessons I'm learning? And that's what I
think that also speaks to your family, doesn't it? I mean, when our family is where we learn the most, when we're very young and impressionable, and caring about other people. I mean, I used to bring home stray kids, stray dogs, stray cats, you name it. And that's, even though my mother said, oh my God, here she goes again, I thought, well, this is the right thing to do.
Right, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for me to make a difference and help other people. It just is in me.
And those of us who know this wonderful woman understand that totally and completely, because you're helping the women that you're mentoring. It's, you're helping them. They call you, you help them every way you can.
Yes, well,
and it's a wonderful thing.
When I got into the business I'm in with the pop-up boutiques, it was like Christmas. Like when they delivered my rolling racks and my hangers, I still remember the UPS guy knocked on the door. It was Christmas Eve, like 6 years ago, and he said, "What did your husband get you for Christmas?" And I said, "Oh my goodness." He said, "I got a truck full of things out in the UPS truck." And then I realized it was all of my things for my pop-up boutique. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have my very own store. I am now an entrepreneur, and I can do anything that I want to do with it. It's my own. And therefore, I love training and teaching other women and coaching them to do that too, because it's a great privilege for me to help somebody, style them, help them feel better and look better. And once I style them and they feel better and look better and they get compliments and it just makes them feel so much better, that I just love helping other women do what I've been doing.
Well, you're so welcoming. And we open the door, and she says, "Hi, come on in." She hands you a glass of wine. And there are women there looking through the racks. We become kids in a candy store. It's a wonderful thing. And of course then, Rachel's there greeting everybody. That's the dog.
Yes.
And the cat sometimes comes down the stairs and says hello and then goes back up.
Yellow lab. She always has a pretty collar on, either a bow or something. Yes, she's a fashionista as well.
She definitely is. Yes, she is.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. When did you really get interested in fashion?
Ooh, I think the very first time would be with my Barbie dolls, to tell you the truth. I was the oldest, 3 younger brothers. They were always doing things like playing baseball and things like that, and I was in my room a lot of times by myself, and it was just an outlet for me. So I loved putting all the outfits on them. I loved sewing the outfits for them. Did you do any of that with your Barbies?
Yes.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of money in my family, so I used to spend hours sewing a gown by hand for a Barbie doll this big. So I got interested in it back then. I loved the whole feeling of putting something great on them, and she could go to the ball, she could go to the Academy Awards. I mean, she could go to the office, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of lived a little bit through our dolls too, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes. Meeting Prince Charming and dressing up in these beautiful clothes.
Yes.
And my family didn't have much money either. And so my grandmother taught me how to sew, and so I sewed all kinds of things for my dolls too.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful way of learning, so that when you get older, you know, you're the doll.
Yes.
Okay, we're the dolls, and we're
Yes.
dressing ourselves up.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Now, what's the importance of nice clothes, investing in something nice versus something that's, maybe you say, I can buy 5 outfits for that amount of money, and that's what I want to do. Is that a good idea or not?
Well, what I have found is you don't need a lot of clothes in your closet. You need some special, beautiful pieces that always look good on you and you always feel fabulous in, so that you can grab them out of your closet and put them on, and you're out the door and you're not having to think about it. If you put an outfit on, in my opinion, and you're not sure and you're tugging at it and it's not the right length, you don't feel great in it, get rid of it. It should not be in your closet. You're not going to wear it, and if you do wear it, you're not going to feel great in it.
And should we keep clothes forever like I do, even though our tastes change?
No, I know I have people, I've done some closet audits with people, and we did, the bag thing where you have, one garbage bag is for everything in the closet that needs a button, needs a hem, has to go to the alterations, right? There's one bag for that. Then there's one bag that we just know it's going to Goodwill. Like it's done, it shouldn't even be in the closet, right? Then there's a bag where I find people are like, I'm not sure, like I spent a lot of money on that. I can't just get rid of that. I might wear it.
I can't let it go.
I can't let it go.
Yeah.
So I tell them, let's take those things then and let's put them in a closet in a different part of your house. If you have not gone to that closet and chosen that particular, any of those things within the next year, then it really is time to let go of it. And it will feel better if you do. You can
That's
still have
hard.
You can still have the memories. You could take a photo of it with your phone and remember it that way. But it really is just cluttering up your life.
And I was calling this show "What's in Your Closet" because, well, I have spread over into the guest closet because I'm keeping a lot of things because you never know, right? But how many of us do that? I bet you right now, if you went, well, don't do it, but if you just do it virtually in your mind, think about your closet and think about, well, all these things are important. We women just never know, what we're going to need.
Right.
And sometimes we put on 3 or 4 outfits before we go out the door. But do we get rid of the outfits that we didn't like on us? No, we hang them back up.
See, you got to get rid of them. Really, people think because I'm a stylist and I love clothes, they're always assuming that I must have like a lot of clothes. And I have a good amount. However, those clothes in my closet I wear. So good clothes open all doors. There's a quote, I can't remember who the person was right now, who I got the quote from, but good clothes will open doors. When you feel comfortable in your outfit and you walk, into a meeting, you'll nail that meeting. I mean, you feel more powerful, you just feel more put together, you just feel good in it, right? It's
Absolutely. The first time I put the sweater on, which you saw the last show, I wore it. I had to wear it again today.
Yay, it's a great sweater.
It's a great sweater. It's got different feel to it because the bottom is a different material than this wonderful.
It's cashmere, and then the bottom is trimmed in silk. So the silk just adds that detail to it that just makes it fabulous and beautiful, and right? It just makes you feel.
And it does. And I like the way I feel with it on, which means I wear it quite often. And I can wear it with anything. I'm wearing it with a striped top right now, which is, slimming.
Yes.
I'll try anything I can. And a beautiful scarf, I could wear it with, the last show I had a blue shell on under it.
Ooh, pretty.
And it looked really pretty. Remember that? You saw it, okay? And I had it on.
Beautiful.
So you're right. You're absolutely right, because it's our state of mind.
It is our state of mind. Yep.
Because it's like putting on your makeup, doing your hair just right, and I mean, it's all important, right down to the
We need to take pride in ourselves. We really need. Even if you're just going to run out to the grocery store, you may not have time to do all the details, but throw a poncho over top of your workout clothes and throw a little scarf and put some lip gloss on. It really makes you feel a lot better to walk into the store when you've put some time in it, you put some effort into it.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you earlier when we were in the car driving here, you never know who you're going to run into. So, you know, you're going to get on a train, you're going to get on an airplane. I have outfits that are comfortable that I know I'm just going to choose those particular outfits because they're comfortable, but they make me feel pulled together, they make me feel beautiful. And that way, on the airplane, should I sit beside somebody, you don't know who you're going to sit beside. The people that you meet.
You never know.
And have you ever gone to the grocery store or sat on an airplane and thought, oh no, I can't talk to that person, I can't run into them because I don't look good.
Oh yeah.
Right, hide from them in the grocery aisles. You know, you're like, oh, here they come. Oh dear.
And the thing is, they find you because you don't want them to.
Exactly, they do.
Like the law of attraction, comes into play.
Exactly.
You're trying to hide.
Exactly.
And you're just, like this, looking at things, and they go, hi, how are you doing? You go, oh my God, I hope I don't look as bad as I don't feel as bad as I look. I really don't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's when you just put a lot of confidence on it and
yes.
say, hi, it is so great to see you, right? Yeah.
Now, this lady always has a smile on her face, okay? And we're going to talk about something very personal with her. And was it a couple of years ago now already?
Actually, yes, 2 years ago now, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
Okay. So I still remember the whole thing. I went and had a colonoscopy, like everybody is supposed to when they're in their 50s. Mm-hmm. And I still remember the doctor coming out afterwards and saying, we found a little something, and we're going to send it away, and I'll meet with you on Monday. It was a Friday, and I'll meet with you on Monday. And I said, oh, okay. Thinking in my mind, I am just such a positive person.
Yeah.
I'm sure they found a little something and they're going to give me a little Advil or whatever and I'm going to be fine, right?
Right.
So I still remember the argument because my husband and I were driving to the appointment on Monday to meet with the doctor. And my husband, who's a Coast Guard Academy graduate, search and rescue helicopter pilot, their motto, I don't know if you know, is like always ready. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he says, Diane, I think before we go into this appointment, you might want to start preparing yourself for some bad news. And I said, what? You gotta be kidding me. There is gonna be no bad news. This is not bad news. This is just, would you stop it? I mean, I actually got angry at him, right? I'm like, don't you stop that. This is gonna be good. So we get there, of course, I think the diagnosis, when anybody says, and he said it actually in kind of a nice way that I think was a nice way, which was, we found some cancer cells. But your mind immediately goes just haywire, right? You can't hardly even hear anything else that they say. It becomes like Charlie Brown's,
yeah.
And you're like, okay, and how big is it, and what? And I just remember him saying, you're going to be fine. I know you'll be fine. It was stage 3.
Wow.
You're going to be fine. However, you're going to have to jump through some hoops. And I thought, I can jump through hoops. Whatever, that's fine. I can take a challenge, right? I'll jump through hoops. On the other side of it, had I known I was going to be jumping the Grand Canyon, not jumping through hoops, but in retrospect, I'm glad that they didn't tell me how much of the treatment. I had a lot of treatment. And mine was grueling, and mine was a lot of treatment. I had a lot. So, does that answer the question that
it does.
Tell when
me
I first
about
got diagnosed?
When you told your daughter.
Oh,
I love
yes.
that story.
Okay. So I have colorectal cancer. Okay, so I remember just sitting at the kitchen counter. My husband and I came home after the bad news. We didn't say a word to each other. We just sat there eating our sandwiches. And I remember with my husband telling him, I'm like, oh my God, this is like so embarrassing. I mean, out of all cancers too, I got butt cancer. I'm like, I can't even tell anybody. I will not tell anybody about this. No one's going to know about this, right? And I did go through a little bit of a process. I'm saying this because maybe if anybody else ever gets diagnosed, there was a little bit of a process. So I went through the anger of it, like, why? Wait a minute, I'm the girl that drinks out of glass bottles. I don't drink out of plastic. I don't stand in front of the microwave. I eat organic food. I take my vitamins. I run half marathons twice a year. I run half marathons. I exercise every day.
Yes.
And what? You've got to be kidding me. This could not happen to me, right?
Right.
So I went through the anger of it. The next morning, I remember making my bed and thinking to myself, okay, let's just let's let the anger out. Let's just get through the anger. And I took my pillow as I was making the bed and I beat it, on the bed a bunch of times, like, this isn't fair, and why me, and how could this happen to me? And after 2 minutes, I was tired. I put the pillow down and I said, okay, now it's time to move on, and what I really need to do now is just go ahead and get the treatments when they're going to happen. Then the next hardest thing for me to do was to call my daughter, to tell my daughter she was away at college. So I didn't want to tell her on the phone, and I said, come home, I need to see you. I just made it very light. I just miss you, I really want to see you. So she came home, and I remember sitting up on her bed with her and telling her. And of course, that's hard to tell your child, right? So it was very emotional for me, and we sat there and we cried. And then I shared with her the story about how I'm just so embarrassed that I have butt cancer, and what am I going to do because I can't even tell anybody? And she says, no, Mom, and she's a comedian, by the way. She likes to write comedy. She says, Mom, you've got the best cancer because you can make fun of it. You are going to kick cancer's butt. You are going to, holy crap. Any words that come out of your mouth, right?
Yeah.
So she, in those words, that belief, that she gave me, I held true to my heart, and she asked me, what can I do for you? Because lots of people will ask you when you're going through cancer, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
And with her, I said, you know what? Just keep sending me butt jokes. Any butt joke. So every day she was writing a butt joke to me, and at the end, when I finished all my treatment and I was clear, she got me a trophy that's a donkey's butt, a donkey's ass. Yeah, a donkey's ass. And it says to my mother, who kicked cancer's ass, she gets the donkey, the ass award. Yeah. So it was so it was a way for me. I think everybody deals with it however you want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. But for me, from that moment on, I started thinking to myself, I wish somebody had scared me a little bit more and had made me get my colonoscopy sooner, because I was 55 when I got mine, and I should have got it more at 50. And I did have a few signs. I did have a little bit of red blood sometimes when I went to the bathroom, and I didn't know. I even actually mentioned it to a couple doctors, and they said, I'm sure it was a hemorrhoid. However, nobody said to me, you should go get a colonoscopy yesterday. So time went by with some of these symptoms going on, and so I decided that I wanted to shout it from the rooftops so that nobody else would have to go through what I went through. I really wanted people to know, so that was the first thing I posted on Facebook, was I have some unfortunate news about me. However, I want you to know that you need to go get checked. I don't want you to get into the same predicament that I'm in right now. And colonoscopies will save your life, because they would find, mine was probably, they say, what did they call it, a polyp that had turned, and the cells just keep multiplying. However, the good part is we got it just in time. It had not spread into the lymph nodes, and so I did get it just in time. So I would like to urge people out there, even if you're afraid of a colonoscopy, there's a whole lot more to be afraid of than that. So it's okay. Just go and do it. It's a one-day thing, and you'll get through it, and you'll be fine. And at least then you'll know if they see polyps or not.
Absolutely.
So I shout it from the rooftops, and I became a social media frenzy because people followed my story. Mm-hmm. And then as I started treatment, I decided to which I do everything in my life, is to turn the lemons into lemonade.
Yes.
Because I don't see any benefit in not doing that. I don't see any benefit in being grumpy about it or being sad about it. It just really was about me getting through the process. And actually, I allowed myself to surrender and just experience the process of it as well. People were praying for me. They would say, oh, no one knew what to do. People don't know what to do. So everybody says, we'll pray for you. So one day, I was sitting in my living room while going through some of the really heavy chemo treatments and radiation, and very sick, down to 96 pounds at one point, not feeling well. But I was sitting, it was a Sunday morning, and I thought, you know what? There's a lot of people right now I know that are in church, and I know they're praying for me. I know from the bottom, it's going to make me cry. From the bottom of my heart, I know that that's one thing they know they can do to help me, right?
We all did.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yes.
So I sat on the couch, and I said, bring it on. Allow me to feel all the prayers.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I almost felt levitated off of the couch. There was amazing power when I sat. I mean, how many times do people say, I'm praying for you, but do you really stop and allow yourself
to receive it,
to receive it
Yeah.
and feel it and like breathe it for a few moments, right?
Exactly.
It was beautiful. And I would share that with people too. If people are praying for you, allow yourself to receive it and feel it.
Yes, absolutely, because it's powerful. It's energy.
It's energy.
Okay, it's energy coming your way.
Yes.
And it's positive energy. Even though she's a positive person all the time, no matter what. I mean, you made director in the business and everything while you were sick.
Yeah, they told me, my company is very fabulous, and they said, Diane, anytime you need to take time off, you let us know. And I said, okay, well, I've never done chemo and radiation before, so I think I'll just kind of go with it, and we'll see when I need time off. I'll let you know. Mm-hmm. Well, as time was going on, what's more beautiful than to have beautiful clothes in your house and your friends all coming over? They wanted to help me, have tea with me, support me, look at the beautiful clothes. So it became something like I didn't work because I was crazy. Okay, I'm like, I'm not crazy, but I wanted to do it because it was a diversion and it was a normal thing. And that way, every time I went for my chemo, I dressed up. I put a nice outfit on, and I put my lipstick on, and it didn't matter how sick I was. Mm-hmm. I fixed my hair, and I put some earrings on. And I continued the whole way through that. I made a theme for most of the chemo sessions. I would take champagne glasses and drink my Gatorade out of the champagne glasses. Oh. Or I would take, at Christmas time, we wore Santa hats. But every week I came up with an idea to make it creative, make it something. And then I posted it on Facebook. And the other thing is I did not want people to worry about me. I mean, people do worry. And I really wanted to put out there to the universe and to all my friends and family that because you're sending me energy, that's good enough. And I'm going to be fine. I am going to be good. I got this.
Yeah. Well, you sure did.
So,
holy cow. Hold up the picture here.
So...
how did this happen? This is a cover of a magazine.
Yes. So in the middle of the first rounds of the chemo and the radiation, a friend of mine, a colleague actually from New York City, called me and said, I have a friend who's writing an article for how to survive chemo. Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to be interviewed? And I said, my immediate response was, oh my gosh, I am so sick right now. Like, I'm not really sure. But then I thought, okay, there's that part of me. Maybe I could help somebody. Maybe I do have some tips. Maybe I could help somebody. So I said yes. And the woman called me, and we did an interview, and she was asking me about, how I'm surviving chemo. And I said, first of all, I'm exercising every single day. I started out my chemo being full-fledged because you don't feel something at first with the chemo, the radiation. Yeah. It takes a few weeks. Then it kind of kicked in. But I just went about my daily business. I did exactly what I was always doing, even though I had a chemo pump on, and I was wearing it 24 hours a day for 7 days a week for 4 weeks. I still exercised. Again, I'm not crazy. I was doing it at the ability that I could do it. As the days waned and things changed, but I still at least went out for a walk. Or I would just go to the gym, or I'd go to the spin studio, and I would it was social, and spin my legs around even if I didn't put anything on the bike. Even if it was 10 minutes. But again, it was that normalcy, right? So I was sharing that with the woman. She loved my story. I also got a lot of relief out of acupuncture, and I got a lot of relief out of massage and all of that. I just tried to keep everything normal, right? So there's a funny story, which is so she called me. They said they were going to send a photographer out. And oh my gosh, this dress that I'm wearing in here, it had to be totally altered. It was like, because I was so thin at the time.
I
did lose a lot of weight. But the photographer came. We went to Stonington. We went down to the, what's that called? The Point in Stonington, and took a lot of beautiful photos. And I said goodbye to the photographer, and he said, well, we'll let you know when the article comes out. And I said, okay, great. Well, then I continued. I had surgery. By the way, they took out 6 inches of my colon. They took out my rectum. It was a big, long surgery, and I diverse here for a second, and I want to say, too, that I'm the proud owner of a colostomy bag, and I want people to know that, because I cried for 3 days when I found out I was going to have a colostomy bag, because I thought I'd never be able to wear pretty clothes again. And I'm here to tell you, it is not a big deal. Once I wrapped my head around it and said, you know what, this is just something that I've got to take care of. I wear contact lenses. I got to put those in every day. So I have a colostomy bag. So my colon is rerouted out my belly. So I have a belly butt. I call it my belly butt.
I love it.
Yeah, I got a belly butt. And the reason I want to be forward about it is because that's a very scary thing when not only you have cancer, but now your life's going to change, right?
Yes.
That was really freaky to me, very scary. But I'm here to tell you, you can wear beautiful clothes, and no one ever knows that I wear a colostomy bag. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody who ever is diagnosed with that or has that and needs, any help with that too. But
well, you've also had pictures on Facebook of you in your swimming suits.
Yes.
And you can't tell.
Yeah. No, you can wear swimming suits. I just have to wear I wear a little higher one, and then I wear bikinis too.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just you adjust a little bit and everything's good because I wrapped my head around it.
Yeah.
You've got to wrap your head around it.
Important.
When I've heard of people who've had colostomy bags and they say, I've heard, I just want to die, I can't do, it's not, no, just wrap your head around it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It really is. It's okay if you wrap your head around it. So going back here, though, the funny part of the story is they were supposed to let me know about the article when it was going to come out. So now I had to go through, after doing all that, had the surgery, 4 weeks later, they wanted me to do 4 more months of chemo just in case a little cell got away, which took me about a week to say I would do it, because that's a lot, like after you've been through all that, and then you're like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Everything they took out of me had no cancer. It was responsive to the chemo 100%. And now I'm going to put poison back in my body just in case. However, to this day, I will say, peace of mind was totally worth doing that last 4 months of it. So I'm glad that I did.
Wow.
So I was doing the last 4 months of it. It was holiday time, Thanksgiving. My daughter took me to the L&M Cancer Center, and I was getting my chemo pump on or off, and she looks down at the coffee table, and she says, hey, Mom, the girl on the front of that magazine looks just like you. And I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm on the cover of a magazine. I was like shocked. They didn't tell me I was going to be on the cover of the magazine.
Wow.
So that was pretty exciting because I was on the cover. And I posted it on Facebook.
Of course.
And I've got 1,500 friends on Facebook. And what I was able to do with that was create a virtual networking thing that women were taking their aunt to a chemo session in San Diego, and they would Facebook message me and say, I saw your magazine on the coffee table at the cancer center, and now my aunt feels if you could do it, she can do it.
Wow.
So I made a difference. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people, they called from all over. Some people called, and I got through Facebook, they got exchanged phone numbers, and then some people just messaged me. But that also really fueled me because I knew I was doing something so fabulous to make a difference in people that if I could do it, I gave them hope.
Yes.
I gave them hope.
Definitely.
And so I was happy to do that. So yes, and the one thing I love that they captured on my magazine in big letters here, it says, I saw my cancer leaving. I'm very big into visualization, and that was a huge thing that I did the whole time during my cancer experience. A friend of mine that I was having dinner with at some time during my chemo said to me, I bet when you're home alone in the daytime, you just like sit around feeling sorry for yourself a lot. I bet you feel sorry. And I'm like,
That's
actually,
interesting.
that never even occurred to me. I got a job to do here. I am visualizing. I am meditating. I've got soft music on all day. I've got candles lit. I am looking at the clouds and experiencing them and the leaves and really taking in the whole world. And every time I had a moment, whether I was in the radiation machine or whether I was just taking a moment on my own sofa, listening to the spa music, I continuously saw that cancer leaving my body. So that was all, the interview, is that and if my mind got resistant to it, my daughter, when she was little, used to love the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, yes.
And so I would visually bring those Powerpuff Girls into my body, and I would say, okay, Powerpuff Girls, do your thing, right? And I'd see them in there with dynamite blowing up the cancer tumor, and it was leaving my body. And I was just visually, the more visual I could be about it, sometimes they'd have big erasers and they were erasing it. But the visualization also really helped me get through the process. And I do that with every part of my life. I mean, I do that in my career, that I like to visualize before my show, before I have my trunk show. I always get nervous, like, how about if I do the pop-up boutique and I set it all up and nobody comes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how, you think, how about if nobody watches this show on TV tonight, right? It's like that we're on. So I'm a big, I just really love about the visualizing is to just picture it and visualize it. And if you build it, they will come, right?
Yes.
So if you visualize it, it happens. It may not happen at the speed you want it to, but it will happen. And I think that sometimes if it's hard to visualize, if we bring in props or bring in things that will help us, like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, people don't understand that visualization, which they used to call guided imagery, years ago, is very powerful. And it's powerful because everything is energy.
Yes.
And we have more power and control. And I'm reading these books that Marge Bacchini recommended to me. And I'm reading these books and I'm going, oh my God, really? Geez, we are more powerful than we realize.
Yes.
And because you did what you did, it enabled your body to take control. And
That's a great way
whether
to
or
put
not
it.
you
That's
want
a
to
great
use
way
the
to
Powerpuff Girls,
Yes.
Use whatever you want to visualize, even if it's a cold. Okay, a cold can be really nasty, and you don't want it.
Right.
So visualize. Use that power that you've got, that energy. And
if you need help with it, just bring in something visual for you. It could be a cloud. Maybe you bring a cloud in that's going to help, right?
Exactly.
Get the cold out of your body or whatever. But we have ways. We are more powerful than we ever dreamed that we are.
Yes, we are. And what we're going to have to do is take a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we're going to look at some clothes that she brought. And what we're going to do with that is she is going to explain how you can mix and match things and how she was able to just take a few outfits in her suitcase for days and days and look amazing, okay? So we'll be right back. Hang on.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
You'd do anything to take care of that spot on your lawn. So why not take care of that spot on your skin? If you're a man over 50, you're in the group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the cancer that kills one person every hour. Check your skin for suspicious or changing spots. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out what to look for. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No?
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hi, everybody. We're back with Diane Trone. Amazing story about her battle with cancer. We're going to get back into fashion now, okay, because she's got a ton of tips and techniques. And the first fashion bit is her humpback, okay? So she's going to show you what happens when you go on a TV show and you don't have a belt, you don't have pants to hook things up on. So why don't you show the cameras and the people at home.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Okay, so I have a hump back because I'm all wired up, but we thought maybe we could just call it a fad.
A fad.
Fad, right? It's a new
Yes.
fad. We could start a new thing.
Absolutely.
And maybe everybody wants one.
I think so.
I think
Yes,
so. It looks lovely.
Absolutely.
You can put your keys in it and your phone, and then you don't have to worry about where your stuff is, right? Your glasses could be back there.
Yes, exactly. Just
So.
getting to them is a challenge. But
Yes,
anyway, okay,
yes,
so we're going to talk trends and techniques here.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm going to watch.
So I brought some clothes with me. First thing I want to talk about, everybody always wants to know, so what's in store for fall, winter? What are the trends? And the first thing was, of course, the red, white, and blue because of the election.
Yes.
So I have a red dress on here today, and you can see I've got the little white sweater with it. So red, white, and blue was really the thing for the fall. Going into holiday time, it's really about velvets. So pull your velvet out of the closet, your velvet dresses, your velvet shoes, your velvet handbags, right? Mm-hmm. How fun are those?
So cool.
Yeah. The other big thing with the fall and winter is the menswear. So it's the type of clothing that is designed to maybe a blouse that looks like a man's tie. You know, it's the fabrics. The menswear trend is more the fabric, that it looks more like, and some of it's the style of it too. It could be the jackets and pants and things like that. But menswear is really popular. And then people were asking me for jewelry tips and things like that too, and it's all about the sparkle. So that's my favorite color, by the way, is sparkle. Sparkle. I love sparkle. So I have sparkle on my arms, sparkle on my ears. I love sparkle because it's just one color. It's sparkle, and you can just...
And it makes you feel sparkly.
It does. It makes you feel
Yes.
sparkly. Yes, it does. So that's the trends. I also want to start, before I start talking about the clothes, with a quote. And this is by Victoria Seitz, and this is from her book, Your Executive Image. for all you working girls out there. And she says in her book, in a business setting, our clothing acts as a communicator of ourselves and our company and our position. Clothing can communicate respect. It can communicate authority. So it's really important that we do select things that we feel great in. Like I said earlier, here's the quote. So, good clothes open all doors. Thomas Fuller was the one who did that quote. So next I'm just going to talk a little bit about, have you ever felt a lack of confidence because you did not have the right outfit on? You go into a meeting and you're pulling on your skirt. It doesn't fit right. It's too tight, right? Your jacket isn't right. It doesn't match. It's not the right color. You don't feel quite right on that day, right? You just don't feel like you're popping it.
And it distracts you.
It does distract you. Yes, that's the whole point. So that's why I'm trying to say that you don't need a whole lot of things in your closet. But ladies, really choose beautiful fabrics. Not in everything if you can't afford that. If you're, we have different budgets. But save up and get a few pieces of a few things that you know are beautiful fabrics that you know when you're going for something especially important, you're just going to feel like $1 million. When you walk in, you're going to feel powerful. You're going to feel respected. You're going to feel beautiful inside and out, right?
Exactly.
So one thing people always want to know about is how to dress monochromatic. Do you know what monochromatic means? I know you do.
I do, but I'm going to let you tell us.
Well, the whole gist behind it is to take something that's a column. Okay, we used to call it column dressing. So it's got a lot to do with a column of color, one color, and you can add different colors on top of it. So, for example, I have the mannequin right here. So she has on, which if you're building a closet yourself and you really want to just start with some basic pieces, I recommend definitely a winter white pencil skirt. I also recommend everybody have in their closet a basic black skirt. I also recommend everybody in their closet has a really nice pant. So either, and again, I love winter white. So either, winter white slim pant or black, if you're more, that way, black, white. There's also, if you like the higher waisted, which is, they're really in with the wider legs, you could do that in white or do that in black. Okay, so that kind of gives you some ideas.
So you're talking about basics that you can build on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so these are basics, yeah. So, in your closet, that's what you want to have. You know what I mean? At least a black skirt and a great pair of black pants.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what I love about these fabrics are, they're beautiful. They are synthetic. They're doing such beautiful synthetic things these days because they don't wrinkle. You can just kind of squish them up. You could take these, anywhere. Look, you could go on an airplane all day and you still won't look like you've lived in them.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Right. You can wear them over and over again. The fabric is fabulous. But going back to finish up I was telling you about the closet, but to finish up about monochromatic, is that you've got a column. So she has on a beautiful silk top here and a winter white. And I love winter white, and I love to talk about winter white because so many people say, oh, I'm overweight. I could never wear winter white.
Yeah.
However, you can if you do it right. So you do the winter white, and look how pretty. What you do is over top of the winter white, you're going to cut it, you're going to slim it all down. And this is the same sweater Marilyn has.
Sweater, yes.
Yeah, this one's in brown. Isn't that pretty? But you do something like this. Now look at how beautiful that is. I mean, that is just elegant. I love solids. I especially love solids for people if you feel overweight and you want to look slimmer. Solids really work unless you want to do, like your top is perfect because it has the
angle.
The angled, the way that the stripes go. It's a slimming look. But anyway, somebody that says that they can't wear winter white, look at that, how beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, definitely you can wear winter white. So a column, another thing I love too is the sheath dresses. Okay, so I have a sheath dress on. So same kind of thing. I can take off my little jacket. And I don't love my arms, and I know a lot of women, I mean, I work on them as much, do push-ups and all that kind of thing. Don't love my arms, so I feel most comfortable, which is why I started the show with my little jacket on. But you can, when you buy something, if you buy a sheath dress, at the same time, get the sweater that goes over your arms, because if you're not feeling comfortable with your arms being bare, and a lot of dresses these designers do, a lot of the dresses, they actually make sleeveless a lot. If you've noticed, even the newscasters on TV and the weather girls, and bare arms are really, that's the way they're making a lot of the dresses. But you can go ahead and make sure you have something over top, like, so isn't this cute? Like, you can just go ahead and, right? And it changes the whole look.
It does.
Taking it to a more like a daytime kind of thing, but and I love brown. Maybe you would think not brown and red together, and I love brown and red together. If it's the right.
That's amazing.
If it's the right shade, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's one idea with the monochromatic. The other thing is, you can take a jacket, right? And put this, so now you're going someplace more fun, maybe not to the office. You want to go out in the evening. Maybe at the office you had the sweater on. So now it's time to go out in the evening with the girls, and you're like, all I got to do, put this jacket in my car, and I will just switch my jacket out, maybe switch some of my jewelry out, and you're ready to go. Now you're out for the evening, and you're looking adorable. And I love the layering look where you can have a little pop of the fabric sticking out the bottom. That's really trendy right now too, so that's really fun.
I hope that stays trendy, because I like that too.
I do too. It's
Yes,
slimming. It's
it
a nice slimming look. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. The other thing that's really popular right now is the puffer jackets. So I'm going to do that just to show you again. If you don't have a puffer jacket, everybody get one, but don't get the puffy ones, because then you're going to look like a snowman, right? Because they're too puffy. So what's nice with this particular vest, and they're wearing these vests on the runway, everybody was wearing these with a belt. You could do a belt with it. But what they were doing is they were definitely putting them with dressy things. So they were putting them with dresses. I mean, look how cute that could be. Just,
oh, wow.
I mean, you would never even think to do that. But that's part of why I love styling, is that everybody can add a little something that's them.
Exactly, yeah. And it also means you can go on a trip. Say, for instance, 5 or 7 days on a business trip, and you can have basic black, basic white, and then you can just add a little other color. And you don't have to go with a lot of design as far as like plaids and flowers and all of that kind of thing. Just use the solids. And look how well they go together. And then you just...
And then you want to add a pop of color. You're like, I really need some color. Take the scarf, wear the scarf on the airplane, because our legs are always cold on the airplane. And look how, I mean, I can get everything into a carry-on and go away for like 5 days.
That's amazing.
Because you just switch this out. This cute little outfit, take your jeans with you, take the pencil skirt off, put a pair of jeans, you've got a whole different outfit.
Absolutely.
And it's so easy. So easy.
I love that. Thank you. Those are great.
Good.
Wonderful tips. And you know, the thing is, trends change. Of course, trends change. But you know, if you keep thinking the basic white, the basic black, whether it's winter white or off-white cream, and you can build with those.
Keep the basics, and then buy one trendy piece.
Exactly.
Because it's going to come, it's going to go. You don't want to invest a lot of money in that. That might be the piece, that you do get someplace else on sale or something, right? The trendy piece.
Because it's going to go.
Because it's going to go. But your basic pieces, spend the money on, because you will have your basic pieces for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, really. I mean, you're going to have, these are from my own closet, actually. And I mean, these pieces they're just so classic. They're going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the white shirt, too?
Oh, yes, please do.
Okay. Love white shirts. And this is one of my favorites because it's a white cotton shirt in the front, and it's so comfortable because, look, it is like pajamas in the back. It is made out of this T-shirt.
Oh,
stretchy
that's
material.
So nice.
I know, isn't this nice? I love this
that.
This white shirt. It's got the beautiful cuffs on it. You can throw this with a pair of jeans. I love white shirts with a pair of jeans. I mean, you just, and a little navy sweater or jacket to throw over top or whatever, a red sweater. I mean, you could do so much with something like that. That makes it really fun. But I love a beautiful white. And you've got to get a new white shirt. I'm sorry, ladies. Get a new white shirt like every year, other year. They yellow. Even if you sit them in your closet and you never wore them, they get spots on them. Have you ever had that?
Of course they do.
They get spots on them and they get yellow.
Yeah.
So you have to have the white crispness of it. It has to look like beautiful. It has to pop.
And I love that one because I like the material.
Yeah, because it's comfortable.
Yeah. We've only got a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
So that's wonderful.
Yay, I hope I've helped people.
Oh, yes. I bet you they were writing like crazy.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay.
And of course, the thing is, they can always call you.
Yes, absolutely.
They can always call you.
I love to help people. I can give you advice on the phone. I can help you with things. I'd be more than happy to do that.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, this has been fun. This has been fun. It went so fast.
Of course it does.
I was
it
so
always
worried
does.
I wouldn't have enough to fill up all the time, and
that never happens. That never happens.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you. I just feel I'm again humbled and just so honored. That I kind of visualized this, to tell you the truth. Remember you and I talked about it? When I was still pretty sick. We drove to the eWomen.
The eWomen Network event. Yeah,
and you talked about your show, and I said, I remember even in my mind, if I didn't say it to you, someday I'd love to be on your show. That would be so, and look, here I am.
You are.
And here I am.
Yes, and what a great show. Thank you so much.
Oh, good.
We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, we
really did.
Yeah, we did. Good.
And I like to finish the show with a quote every time, as you well know. And she talked a couple of quotes about fashion, and there's so many of them out there. Here's one from the Velvet Paper. Fashion is art, and you are the canvas.
Ooh, nice.
I love that.
Love that.
Think of that when you look at your closet. Okay, what's in your closet? Look at that and say, I'm going to paint myself this color today, and put it together. And here's one from the late, great Coco Chanel. Every day is a fashion show, and the world is your runway. Even if you're going to the grocery store, okay? Think about that.
Yep.
So I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and I'm just thrilled you were here and learned so much and got to meet Diane. She's wonderful. And remember, you can always send me an email and go to our website. Just give us your ideas. If you know somebody that would be really good on the show, that would be interesting, let me know, okay? Because we want this show to be enjoyable for you as much as it is for us, and it's a lot of fun for us. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on From This Corner TV.